morning, everybody. How's everybody out there this morning? Well, we're going to do a video today on what's coming up here pretty soon. This is mid-November. We have a holiday coming up. It's Thanksgiving. We want to talk about today about what it was about when it was started and why we eat turkey, why turkey is the main menu. In the midst of all that, we're going to go out and see if we can get a turkey in the wild like they did back in the settler days. And I'm going to dress up for the occasion. So y'all going to see me dressed up in the attire from back in the 1700s. That's going to be interesting, right? Coonskin cap and all, and the old powder rifle. But anyway, we're going to first talk about, I'm looking around because I see deer just walking around me everywhere out there. But we're going to talk about when Thanksgiving first started, what it was all about. Thanksgiving Day is a national holiday in the United States. Thanksgiving occurs on Thursday, November 28th. In 1621, the Plymouth colonists from England and Native Americans, the Wampanoag, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, people shared an autumn harvest feast that is acknowledged as one of the first Thanksgiving celebrations in the colonies. For more than 2 centuries, days of Thanksgiving were celebrated by individual colonies and states. It wasn't until 1863, in the midst of the Civil War, that President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a national Thanksgiving Day to be held each November. But the holiday is not without controversy. Many Americans, including the people of Native American ancestry, believe Thanksgiving celebration masks the true history of oppression and bloodshed, underlies the relationship between European settlers and Native Americans. Yes, that is true. That's what they say. That they were all friendly at first, and then as time went on, wars began between them, and they wasn't getting along there after that. So, what did they eat the first Thanksgiving Day in 1621? Well, you would think it would be turkey, right, and stuff like that, but from what they say here, that the account says that Native Americans dined on venison, fish, and shellfish, as well as corn and other vegetables. While fowl may have been served, that may well have referred to as a seasonal waterfowl like duck, geese, or rather than turkey. Turkeys were plentiful in the region when the Pilgrims arrived. However, estimates put the total numbers of wild turkey in North America being more than 10 million. Wow, that's a lot of turkeys, isn't it? Shouldn't be hard to get one day, right? I don't know about all that, but I'm supposed to get one somewhere if I have to go to Walmart or some store and buy one. So I can't come back empty-handed for sure, right, for Thanksgiving. All right, European settlements. 20 years later, the colony's longtime governor, Bradford, referred to as a great store of wild turkeys around the time of the famous meal. So that's probably where it all started at. After they seen they had a lot of turkeys out there, so every Thanksgiving, that's what they started. And from then on, it started, turkeys was usually the main meal, and then along with other things. I know growing up that we had turkey, ham, all sorts of different things to eat with our Thanksgiving. Got some deer walking around the side of me here. I think they're trying to ease around the side of me here. This is mid-November anyway. It's rut season for the bucks, so I'm kind of keeping my eye on a buck here because got 2 little does. They're kind of looking behind them, so usually there's something behind them following them when they do that. But right now they're looking straight at me out there. But anyhow, Thanksgiving may have little connection with the Plymouth Harvest Festivals 400 years ago, but it has long history. Nevertheless, original observance in colonial England, New England, Thanksgiving began as a solemn affair rather than a day of feasting. It was a day of fasting and quiet reflection. Wow. So it started out a lot different than we celebrate it today. So eventually the states and the federal government proclaimed the day of Thanksgiving at irregular intervals, but it wasn't until the mid-19th century, after decades of lobbying by magazine editors, Thanksgiving Day began to be established. As the holiday took roots in the United States, so did the need of distinctively American origin story. The Harvest Festival, 2 centuries earlier, remade the first Thanksgiving, while Thanksgiving continues to evolve as each generation. American brings new meaning to the day, how it is celebrated. Wow. So that's how they celebrated it back in the day. So actually it was not all about feasting and eating and all that. It was a different type of celebration back in 1621. All right, let's talk about the turkey. We're going to go out today and see if we can call one up. I guess y'all wondering, what are you talking about, call one up? We'll do it like they did back in the old days. The Native Americans, and way before then, used a call called the wing bone call. This is what you call a turkey wing bone call, which I made it from a turkey wing. Actually, it's 3 different bones. It's the humerus, radius, and the other little bone there. And you cut them off and stick them together. Actually, the Native Americans did this. They used every bit of the turkey for different things. They used the feathers for the head bonnet and all different types of things. But this right here is the call that they used to call turkey. And we're going to try to use that today, see if we can get one to come in. But there's all different kinds of calls. There's box calls, and there's slate calls, and they are the old-fashioned box call. They are what they call diaphragm calls that you use in your mouth. And there's all sorts of different calls. But back in the day, they used something like this to call the turkey in so that they can harvest it. So back then, you know, there was not actually a season that I know of way back, but they just went out and harvested one. But now you have to go when the season's in, and you got in different counties, different times that it's open and then it's closed. So you got to be mindful that you don't want to be out there hunting one and be out of season, and you get yourself locked up or a big fine. So you got to be sure you're in the right counties. It's open in and the season's open for it. So we're going to go out this morning and see if we can call one in. And this is a little bit what it sounds like. You got to suck in on it. Sounds pretty good, I think. Well, a lot better than some of the other calls that I've used. But I did make this from scratch, and it's pretty cool. And we're going to go out here and see if we can get one in. I'm doubtful, but we'll see. But the cool thing is you're going to see me in some old clothes back in the day, and we're going to go out and see if we can get one to gobble or a hen to yelp. You know, this time of year they all bunch together, like the hens with the hens and the gobblers with the gobblers. And the spring's a little different because that's when the mating season is for the turkeys, and the turkeys out looking for the female, so the gobblers and stuff will bust up because they won't run together in the spring. But in the fall, all them bunch up with the females, and the males will bunch back up in the fall. So I thought I'd bring that up to you. So let's go out here today and see what we can hear or see out here in the woods today. And we're going to use take this old powder rifle, which it's not like the ones they used back then. They use like the old Kentucky rifle. But we're going to go out here and see if we can hear one, see one, or get one. Let's go get them. y'all been walking for a while. I haven't heard anything yet, but I have come upon some interesting things here. You know, as I was mentioning earlier, this is November, rut season for the bucks. And I know I've showed this before about them horning, but man, they have tore this place all to pieces. Check out this little pine here that he's rubbed his horns, and he's getting that old velvet off of his horns, and like he started him a scrape right here. But this is not the only one. Man, this place is tore all to pieces. He's a pretty good sized buck. Let's go over and check this other horn tree out. Seem like they like to really horn on these little pines. Tear them up. Check this out right here. He is absolutely grub shook this little pine. So, yeah. This is mid-November. This is when them bucks is out there strutting their stuff. And, the old gun like I got over there is something they would use back in the day to bring down them old big bucks. It's near actually a 50 caliber, but it's not one of the old ones. It's not like the Hawkins or anything like that. But that's what they'd use back in the day. You got one shot, and if it rained, your powder got wet, and there you are. You're done in. You gotta use a knife or something like that, or a spear or a bow. So that's what the Native Americans used, even back before the rifles and stuff. It wasn't until later that they got rifles, and they'd use arrows and bows and arrows and stuff like that. And see, as I said, this is 3 pieces of the wing of a turkey, and what they would do, they would cut it off somehow with something, and I've used glue and thread, and what they would use to wrap it in is something that they call sinew. That's in a deer on its back straps there. It's real thin, real. You may have seen it, a light blue color, and they would strip it out and use it as string, and they'd dry it out and use it. And what they would use as glue, where I use Gorilla Glue, they would use pine sap, like one of the little pine trees here that I've showed you here just a minute ago, that the buck rubbed. And they would use that and ash from wood, like burnt ashes, and mix that together. And they would use that to glue them together. Wow. That's interesting to me, though, how they would take something that they eat and put it to use in different ways. Man, they use bone for a lot of different things. But this little call, as you heard, is a pretty convincing little call. If I had any turkeys close, they would have yelped or gobbled or something, but I've not heard anything this morning. But we're going to keep on trucking, because I got to get a turkey somehow. If not here, we're going to Walmart somewhere or another. You reckon? All right. Well, we went a ways. We ain't heard anything, seen anything. It is so dry here that they'll hear you or see you way before you ever will see them. And they are very, very, very good, got very good eyesight. Their hearing is excellent. And you're not just going to sneak up on one. You may call and you hear one, and you might be able to sit up and make a little blind and call from there. So that's what we're going to do. It's real quick. See if we can get hid somewhere and call a little bit. But I'll tell you what, it's looking more and more and more like going to Walmart somewhere, don't it? You know, we've we tried stalking. It's too dry of leaves to do any stalking, to do any kind of hunting actually. But you know what? The Native Americans, they would do about what I did right there. They would hear one and they'd go get behind a tree somewhere. And they'd take this little wing bone call here. And they'd go calling. And they'd come flying in and they could shoot them things out of the air. They were very good with what they had, because arrows and bows was their livelihood. That's how they stay alive. So it's a little bit I do here. That call didn't sound all that good, but I'm sure if I practiced enough with that call, I could get them to come in. Maybe in the springtime and spring gobbler season. We'll see if we can actually call one in with. I'm gonna make some more of them calls. In fact, I'm gonna go get a big old turkey. If it's not here today, I'm gonna go get one for Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna take the wing bones out of it, and we're gonna make some turkey calls out of them. And we'll see if we can get some coming in the springtime, because season's out in a day or two around here, so there ain't gonna be no. There's only certain counties it's in, so I had to travel ways to get to where you could be out here with them. But I ain't heard one, seen a lot of deer sign. It's great, but yeah, definitely a lot more to it. What you think? So you don't get anything, get out here in the woods, you know, and just explore. It's always good to do that. And let's get off this and see if we can get a turkey. If not, I'm gonna get out of here and get one somewhere else. What do you think? See, folks, I told you. There's deer around here, but I'd say that ain't what was making them hornings on that tree out there. Look at him there. Thinks he's hid over there. You hid over there, buddy? Huh? He's gonna let me even get close to him, you reckon? Look at him. You think you hid, don't you, over in that brush? So that's the way we need to be right there. We need to be hid in the brush. Are you hid good? Huh? Are you hid? He said, uh-oh, I done been seen, done been made right here. He said, I'm gonna back on out of here if I can. Yeah, go ahead, come on out of here. Yeah. So now is he gonna shoot me or what? Look at him. He said, I'm gonna sneak on off out the backside right here. Real easy, like. Well, folks, I found me a turkey. Didn't even have to kill it either. As y'all found out, figured out, I had to leave the woods to actually find me a turkey. So they'll all be proud at the house. So let's go get this thing and get ready for Thanksgiving. What do y'all think? There's turkeys everywhere here. People back in the day couldn't do that, could they? They couldn't just go to the store and get one. They had to go out and kill one. All right, let's get this thing checked out of here and get ready for Thanksgiving. What do y'all think? Well, we got the turkey and we got that all finished up, so we can go on home and get ready for Thanksgiving. So I just want to thank y'all so much for coming along with me on this video, and we'll see you next time on Appalachian Roots with Dan.